It's Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Hope Madden.
This is It's Movie Time. And Hope, would you hire this accountant?
Well, he could get you out of a tax mess. He definitely could. He knows what he's doing. A little intense.
All right, last week, the accountant opened with Ben Affleck. And we like to stand back a little bit after a week and kind of let things settle and decide, whether this is a worthwhile movie or not. I have to say, who would have thought Ben Affleck can act?
It's funny. The last couple films he's done, I think we agree he's a really great director.
Yes.
He's a very, very talented director, and sometimes that makes it that more evident that he's kind of a so-so actor at best. The last few films, I think, he has zeroed in on his niche, which is find a film that doesn't require much range.
No, I don't.
So what better than a character who can't really register emotion at all?
He's autistic, and how perfect. He's deadpan. Some of the responses I was cracking up.
Yeah, I think what I like the best about the film is that they really underplay the quirks, there's some finger touching and some finger blowing, but they're not. So often when a character with autism is in a film, all you see are, the things that make them different from the rest of us. Like this film really strove to show that it's just one or two steps beyond that sort of social isolation that we all feel sometimes. And I really appreciated that. And one of the things, like you said, that they do so well is he's very funny. The performance is very funny in a very dry, subdued way. But
I love some of his responses. I think at one point they're asking him if he could figure out if he could guess who was responsible for the glitch in the books and so on. He says, "I don't guess."
Right. And there's no like bravura about it. It's just a fact. I don't guess.
And you will remember Rain Man and Dustin Hoffman as a savant. So that's something, if you're going to say, well, there's a bit of a stereotype that goes along with autism. It is that colossal gift that they get,
right,
that you always seem to zero in on. But I mean, dramatically, it works really well in this one. I mean, he's trained by his dad. Besides the kid being a mathematical genius, the kid is trained by his dad to be a serious bone crusher.
Yeah, which is, I gotta say, was an unusual choice. I remember thinking to myself, and why though? Like, I mean, I get you don't want him to be bullied, but I'm not sure those long-range rifles are that necessary, are they?
No, I know it. That's a great point, because it seems so obvious to me. Well, Dad wants him to defend himself, but I think Dad's taking it a little bit to the extreme.
Like it. Yeah.
And mostly he takes care of bad boys, the books of bad boys. But he does take in this film a legitimate robotics company,
right,
that he's going to uncook the books for.
Right.
Or, yeah.
And obviously they don't take him as seriously as they should, probably because they got his name from a criminal, and then they shut him down, and that was an interesting moment as well, because you can see, well, he just can't stop. Like, it's not finished, and again, I think I give them credit for not overdoing it. Honestly, I don't think this is a very well-written film.
Okay.
But I think that it is a very well-directed and acted film, and that elevates it. And one of the things I loved about it is the action sequences are so efficient and clean and tidy. They so perfectly suit this character. And you would think that would make them dull, but they're not at all. Because so often in action films, there's no honest-to-God trajectory for the action. It's just stuff happening here and stuff happening there and stuff blowing up. But in this one, it's A to B. I see that. That actually happened. That makes perfect sense to me. And it made for, I thought, a much more interesting set of scenes.
Look at Hope. I go to a thriller to be thrilled. And this did the job for me. Added what I thought to be a little bit of smarts, maybe because they're showing a smart character. But I got some real comfort from the fact that this wasn't completely stupid. Now, I have the same feeling sometimes about Jason Bourne. That I think there's something smart going on there, as well as really good action sequences. And isn't that a coincidence? The two buddies.
That's right.
And then the other coincidence, of course, is Good Will Hunting,
Yeah.
where you had the math genius
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think somebody said, or certainly it's obvious that he's trying to combine the two now, so that he can
Jason Bourne and Good Will Hunting.
Right.
That's funny.
He can compete, but I think, as you pointed out, I mean, his picture won Best Picture for Argo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see Matt Damon coming across with that kind of an accolade.
Well, I mean, Matt Damon hasn't directed anything.
I know,
but,
that's
but
what I mean,
when Affleck did Gone Baby Gone a few years ago, that came completely out of left field, and what a beautifully put together, and a thriller and a mystery, and
Yes.
you were just really drawn through it. It was really a notch above anything we've seen him act in, including this film. And then he went on, right, to do The Town and Argo. He's a magnificent director.
Yes, thank you, and I agree with you completely. And I have fun lampooning his acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you made in your review, your written review, I think you made the point that he's a better actor because he's a director. And he knows, or somebody.
I think that could be true. That being a good actor, but a good director, has, I think, given him insight, not just into, but I think into his limitations. Because I think in the films, because he's in his films now.
Yes.
But I think he understands what he can and can't do, and so he's choosing more wisely. Gone Girl, for example. He basically plays himself.
Well, yes.
He plays this smarmy, unlikable womanizer, and he's perfect.
Yes.
And so I give him credit for zeroing in on what he can and cannot do.
And don't you think it's just a variation of the character he's playing here in The Accountant? I mean, he's kind of stiff and just a little bit out of it, kind of a little clueless.
I definitely think his Batman is just a variation on The Accountant. I don't think there's any question about that. You just really take the cape off. It's the same damn guy.
Now, if we don't concentrate on Ben Affleck, how about J.K. Simmons?
Always great. Never. I mean, he is always a good decision.
Hope, is there something wrong with me? I love that guy.
No, he's so awesome. He's seriously one of the coolest people in the world.
You may remember him as the very tough teacher in Whiplash.
Mm-hmm, I do.
And he's
not my tempo.
He's the tough guy. In this one,
Yeah.
he plays the FBI director? Or
Treasury.
Right. Director. And I also liked Anna Kendrick in this.
I always like Anna Kendrick, honestly. I don't think there's a film I haven't just loved her in. And she's one of those people who just has instant chemistry with anybody else on screen.
Boy, doesn't she? And they, I guess one of the things that I loved here is there's no heavy petting or romanticizing going on in this film.
Mm-hmm.
We can concentrate on where the action is with the accountant, with the bad guys, and so on. And that little bit of romance between the two of them, which is never fulfilled, is so pleasing to me.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah, and she underplays that stuff just so beautifully with that. And somebody was saying that she wasn't a beautiful. I think she's a beautiful woman in a different way.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah, she's lovely.
All right, Hope Madden. The film is The Accountant, and all I can say is, who would have figured a movie about an accountant could be exciting? What grade are you going to award it?
B-.
All right, and I'm going to award it a B, just because I never believed an accountant could actually hold a whole film.